Welcome, Round Rock, Texas middle school science teachers. I'm here to share Amplify Science, a phenomena-based core science program. To begin, please bookmark this page. This is a resource folder that has a lot of great documentation to support your review. Everything from our TEKS alignment to efficacy studies to our benchmark assessments and our hands-on activities. To begin, I want to start with some important criteria. Our program is easy for teachers to use. We start with a hands-on setup that takes about 5 minutes using our material kits. We have a slide deck for every lesson. It's a clickable lesson plan in both Google and PowerPoint. We have a video of a teacher teaching every lesson, as well as supporting all learners with a video of hands-on investigations. Our units are phenomena-driven, and that really incorporates the science engineering practices and action items for students. We have a mix of inquiry, literacy, and journaling through our Do, Talk, Read, Write, Visualize program. And we are also fully bilingual. That includes all print and digital resources in both English and Spanish. To find those resources in the digital experience, we have in the bottom left or right, and sometimes in the upper corners, you will find the digital Spanish toggle. The Spanish toggle also works in our simulations. As you can see here in the upper right, my simulation is now in Spanish. If I'm working in a lesson and I want my lesson level resources is in Spanish, I just click the Spanish tab, and now my PowerPoints and all my other resources, my slide decks, are in Espanol. When students are performing active reading with the articles that we include in Amplify Science, once again, we have the English and Spanish toggle, and also the voice
Respiración celular. En la vida diaria.
and the read aloud feature. We do know that there are other languages besides Spanish spoken in many districts. And so our program works excellent with Google apps such as Google Translate. So watch as I translate this page into French. I can select any of the multiple languages that the Google AI now allows us to translate into. The beautiful thing is, I can also add another add-on to my browser called Text-to-Speech, so it will read in that language.
Translated to, FEN, respiration cellulaire. La respiration cellulaire a lieu dans des parties de la cellule appelée mitochondrie.
You will also find on the bottom right corner, live chat for help from our help support team. You can contact us in a variety of ways. We have live chat, an 800 number, as well as an email. You can also not only get technical and program support, you can get powerful and free pedagogical support through this application. Speaking of technology, we support the widest range of tech environments in all LMSs and SIS systems, everything from ClassLink to Schoology to Canvas to Google Classroom, and we can allow you to then have that one-to-one student experience or do a blended model with our print-based materials. Speaking of Schoology, we actually have the ability to do grade sync from our platform into the Schoology platform. Now let's talk about the amazing materials to teach Amplify Science. The last thing you want to do is adopt a science program that doesn't have all the resources you need to teach science effectively. So we provide teacher materials, both print and digital teacher guides, as well as the classroom slides in Google and in PowerPoint, as well as the classroom wall materials. Everything is also, as we mentioned, available in Spanish. Student-facing materials are consumable student investigation notebooks, which includes all the different types of articles they will be reading over the course of the unit. We also have the digital student experience, hands-on materials, and our simulations. When we talk about the material kits, each unit would have its own unique material tub. As you can see here, it includes all the print resources in the top part of the box, but then all the hands-on manipulatives needed to complete the science investigations. In each kit, you have enough resources to support a classroom of 40 students, organized in groups of 2 to 4, and that includes up to 5 periods a day. So over 200 student uses come with each specific tub. We do offer refills as part of the process to refill the consumable components in the tub every 2 years. Our most popular teaching resource is our classroom slides. They exist in both PowerPoint and Google format, and you can edit them. They're available in Spanish, and you can customize and make them your own clickable lesson plan. But we have them fully fleshed out for you from the beginning, including any type of reading activities, videos, and even embedded formative assessments that you can see here. Our instructional videos for every lesson have been proven very effective for special ed students and English language learners, as well as for teachers for their own professional development to model the lesson. Great for absent students as well as our substitute teacher. We have a video for those hands-on investigations, which is so important. This provides authentic ways in which students can gather another source of evidence. Now let's navigate to the teaching resources online. So go to learning.amplify.com, and I'm going to choose Log in with Amplify since this is a demo account. I've pasted in my information. Your information may look different. And then I'm going to put in my password. Once you're logged in, you'll notice this is the educator home. Your teacher name will appear in the upper right, and then your licensed programs. I'm going to click on Science. This will launch me into the curriculum. Once you're in your demo account, you'll be able to toggle between the different grade levels. As you can see here, we have the integrated model, grades 6th, 7th, and 8th in English and Spanish, as well as the domain model with all Earth, Life, and Physical Science units combined. We can customize the units based upon your unique scope and sequence. Now let's go into an actual unit. And so see here in the upper left, I have the breadcrumbs, and these breadcrumbs allow us to see that I'm in the unit metabolism. Now in this unit level resources, we have printable resources, such as our copy masters, our flextensions. Flextensions are additional hands-on opportunities that many teachers can use for enrichment for honor students. They do require additional teaching days. Also the print materials for your word wall and some other important documentation here. Further down, you'll notice we have planning for the units, which pops open, as well as teacher references. In planning for the unit, a really great resource is the science background document. Let's say you're new to teaching this particular phenomenon and these concepts that are associated with the phenomenon. So here you have the short read on the science background that also includes pedagogical considerations. And we mentioned materials before. We have a full materials and preparation list, which I can expand, which tells me everything that's included within my kit, as well as the print materials, the items for the classroom wall, and then any items needed by supplied by teachers. And most of those are classroom supplies. So this is the unit level. Now let's go into a chapter. I'm now going to go into chapter 1, lesson 1.2. You will see lesson 1.1 is a pre-unit assessment. All of our core units start with a pre-unit assessment. I'm going to go into lesson 1.2. All lessons have the same layout. So a couple features you want to familiarize yourself with are the features on the left. So here we have our overview, our materials and preparation, our differentiation brief. Our differentiation brief allows you to customize the lesson to support the diverse learners in your classroom. We have supports for diverse learners, any potential challenges in the lesson, our strategies for our English learners, and also those who need more support. And if you need to have those extension opportunities for your honor students, we do have that option with our challenge options. Over on the right side, it's very important to familiarize yourself also with the classroom slides and the Google Slides. These are our clickable lesson plans. You can see the lesson at a glance, adds up to 45 minutes of timing. We start with a warm-up, we generate some claims, we introduce some metabolism simulation, return to the patient, and then you have homework, which can be assigned as classwork if your students are needing that accommodation. Another feature you're going to see in the upper right-hand corner is the Start Class button. If I hit Start Class, I would select the class from my drop-down menu, and if my students are logged in, their names would appear here. When I hit Start Class, it will actually drag the students into that lesson 1.2 from their screen. You'll see there's an Eyes Up feature. This is a great feature for teachers. If I click Eyes Up on my teacher dashboard, on the student screen, it will say Eyes on Your Teacher. Planning is easy as a 3-step prep. We're going to review the lesson brief, both in print or digital format, get materials from the kit, and then access the classroom slides. In this case, I'm going to use PowerPoint. The lesson I'm going to navigate to has a warm-up activity. We also have a do phase, a hands-on opportunity, a reading and writing, assimilation, and a built-in discussion. So here I am in lesson 3.2, exploring chemical reactions. I'm going to come over to the right and download my PowerPoint slide. While that's downloading, I'm going to look at my materials and preparation list. Here, I'm going to get out of my kit the resources needed for this particular investigation. And then, of course, I want to read my differentiation brief. I want to support the different learners in my classroom. So here, once again, this is my clickable lesson plan. As you can see, as I'm showing the notes, that it also includes my teacher actions, vocabulary, investigation questions, safety guidelines, actual visuals for what the investigation is about, and built-in click path for your lesson. Now this particular lesson does have a simulation. Now I have two options. I can model what the simulation is to do, or I can come in here and press play and my students can watch.
This is the metabolism simulation. You will use the sim to observe how cellular respiration works inside the cells.
So we truly make it an easy clickable lesson plan, but I can also edit this. If I want to add my own questions, I can do so. Now let's review our successful learning approach. We engage students with a real-world problem at the beginning of a unit. We call these anchoring phenomenon. So in metabolism, students will work as medical interns to diagnose Elisa and why she's feeling exhausted all the time. Then over the course of the unit, students are going to collect evidence from multiple sources to construct increasingly complex explanations. This is around the claim, evidence, and reasoning CER framework. Now that blue feedback loop is very important. This is our do, talk, read, write, visualize process that addresses the needs of all different learners in your classroom. So do means you'll use those hands-on materials for those hands-on investigations. And then we want students to have meaningful communication in science. So we embed 8 different discourse routines to have students talk. Those questions and routines are embedded in the slide decks. Then students are going to read articles. And those articles, as you saw earlier, have digital resources where they can be annotated online, manipulated in different languages, and students can really gather information through active reading. And the students can write their findings, whether in the investigation print consumable notebooks or in the digital platform. And we have districts that use both the print notebooks and the digital platform, and that way they can have that flexibility of a blended model in their classroom. And then visualization happens with our digital tools, our simulations, our apps, multimedia, and other modeling tools that students will use over the course of the unit. We know assessments are important, and so every unit starts with a pre-unit assessment, which includes auto-graded multiple choice questions and 2 written response questions. Halfway through a unit, students have a critical juncture assessment. I'll go more in detail into that assessment with some amazing differentiation strategies. Every unit also has every chapter has a self-assessment. Students can reflect upon their own learning, and then embedded in the activities within a lesson, you're going to find on-the-fly formative assessments, which give you guidance on what to look for, and then the now what to make those modifications to make students success. At the end of the unit, you'll have a combination of written explanations, multiple choice questions, and the summative assessments. We also have standard-based benchmark assessments, 3 per grade level, and these files can be delivered to your testing program at your district. Now let's talk about the progress builds and how this helps all learners be successful with Amplify Science. I'm going to use metabolism unit as my example. You're going to start the unit by giving the pre-unit assessment. This will be auto-scored multiple choice and 2 written responses with rubrics that you can then evaluate the student prompts. Most of your students may score a progress build 0 and maybe a 1, and that's okay because we're going to start simple. Our unit starts simple. In this case, cells in the body need molecules from the outside. Students know they have to eat and breathe, and we'll use that knowledge to then build upon. Progress build level 2, we introduce systems and how those systems work together to deliver the molecules to the cells. At this point, you will give a critical juncture assessment. Based upon the computer algorithms, students will be grouped into 3 differentiated groups: green, blue, and purple. In this particular unit, the green group is still at level 1, the blue group is at level 2, and my purple group has gone past level 2. The entire lesson that follows the critical juncture will be not a reteach, but a new lesson with differentiated supports for all 3 different groups. If you're working in print, the resources also match up as color-coded print. The unit colors do rotate per unit. That way students don't get pigeonholed into a particular color. And the goal is for students to be successful understanding level 3 that cells can release energy. That's cellular respiration. You do have an end of unit assessment that ties it all together and allows you to generate reports showing growth over time and even drilling down onto question analysis. Now I want to take you to a special place within our digital experience. Up here next to the home screen, you'll see Programs and App, which provides an overlay and gives you links to all of our simulations. We have a simulation for each unit, so definitely check those out. Be sure to explore the tools, like maybe the library that houses all the digital articles that students will be reading. We have our benchmark assessment link, our help library, our PD library, our full science program guide, which is great to explore for your review, and our science program hub. The Science Program Hub does have a PD library, professional learning resources, but where I want to focus are on the on-demand resources. I can select my grade level from the on-demand resources. I can choose any unit, and it defaults to the on-demand units, which are print-based packets for students to work from home. You'll also see on-demand videos. These are the links to the videos of teachers teaching the lesson. And then the hands-on investigation videos are actual students completing the hands-on experiments. So definitely check out these resources, once again, under the Programs and App overlay. Thank you for your time, and please choose Amplify Science for your curriculum.